What's going on, everybody? Thank you kindly for joining me. It is great to have you with me. This is SKOL for Days. Well. Kevin O'Connell, Kevin O for the preseason. That's all right. You don't care about preseason records. I mean, the Detroit Lions went 4-0, going 0-16 one year. The Vikings went 0 for the preseason last year and ended up 13-4. So it's not that big a deal. But is it too much to ask, ladies and gentlemen? Is it too much to ask for a little bit of entertainment? Is that too much to ask? I guess it is. What a racket these NFL owners have for charging full price for those preseason games. If you went to that game and you made it through to the end, congratulations. You did better than I did because I could barely keep my eyes open. You know, it was one thing to barely keep your eyes open week 1 in Seattle when we're starting at 9 o'clock Central Time. It's another thing when it was at 7 and it's 9:20 on a Saturday night and I'm dozing off. We got a great show for you this evening. Going to hit a few topics, a little touch on the old Tennessee game, a little touch on the Arizona game, and a lot of topics where there's a lot of controversy going on right now. Why don't the Vikings improve their interior offensive line? Why is it that some in Vikings Nation already want to run Kwesi out of town and label his first couple of picks busts when they've had barely 13 months of NFL experience? I get it. We'd like to see more out of Andrew Booth Jr. and Lewis Cine than we've seen so far. We can all agree to that. And it very well may turn out that they don't amount to much of anything when it's all said and done. But they're already busts. Let's slow down a little bit. Want to give my thanks, first and foremost, for as long as I got a microphone in front of me. Got to say thank you for those that made it possible for us to constantly go on YouTube, speak into the ether, respond to comments, and say thank you to all the brave men and women who are active or veteran members of our armed forces for the sacrifices and the selflessness that you have shown and continue to show to give us the freedoms that we all enjoy each and every day of our lives. To those brave men and women who are police officers, firefighters, and EMS, who in times of danger run toward it while the rest of us cowards run away from it. Thank you. To the doctors, nurses, and frontline workers who take care of us in emergency situations when we all need help. You all got some thankless jobs sometimes, but you wake up every morning with the goal to save a life. So I got to say thank you to the veterans, to the active members, police, fire, EMS, doctors, nurses, surgeons, frontline workers, everybody. Thank you so very, very much for all that you do to keep us safe in one way, shape, or form. If you didn't already do so, on your way in, as a compatriot of mine would say, wipe your feet at the door and just hit that like button for me. And if you could share it on Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, MySpace, I don't care. Let's get this chat pumping. But hit the like button. And if you don't already subscribe to Purple and Gold for Days, I got to say thank you first and foremost. Let's backtrack. Thank you to all of you who do. That helped me get up past the 700 mark. Now at around 715, but you know it fluctuates. I want to say thank you to everybody who has subscribed to First and SKOL, Vikings First and SKOL. They are almost at 1,000. So if you don't subscribe to Vikings First and SKOL on YouTube, hit them up. And hit them up on your favorite podcast aggregator too. Some of my stuff ends up there, but we got the podcast feed going as well. Now, let's get to some comments. Who's in the building? Who's joining me? Mafia. I'll be in the building tonight, Day. I appreciate you, man. You've been putting in that work. So I appreciate you. Dave. Felt bad about my Sheldon. Sheldon Day's not my cousin. I was just totally messing with you, so don't feel bad for another second. But you're right. He's been playing all right. So SKOL to him as well. Grandpa Dave. SKOL Vikings. Great show tonight from Dave and Tyler. After SKOL for Days is over, go to Vikings First and SKOL and check out the lovely episode that he and Tyler did tonight. You think I'm going to rant about the possible bustability? That's one of my topics of Cine and Booth Jr. Boy, you ought to see what Tyler said. Yeah, I ain't joking. Will this be up on a podcast? Maybe. So if I can remember when I'm doing my themes to not have a chat up or to just focus on it, I might actually get something for you tonight, Dave. My boy Sodak is in the building. What's going on, Sodak? I cannot wait to meet you in just a couple of weeks. It's going to be great. SKOL Fest, ladies and gentlemen, the night before the Lid Lifter. Northeast Palace in Minneapolis, 5 to 9. Me and a bunch of other content creators going to do a show live. Warlord of Art, what is going on, my brother? I ain't seen you for a minute, so thank you so much for joining me. I do appreciate you, Warlord. Good to see you. The single greatest YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, MySpace handle of all time, in my opinion. My worthless opinion. And I'm just a few days away from meeting this gentleman, and I cannot wait to hear that story. There might not even be a story, but I don't care. I can't wait to meet you, Worthless. I really can't. Roger's in the building. What's going on, Roger? Good to see you as well. SKOL for Life Barber, 1975. Good to see you again. Saw you earlier. And over in a couple other chats as well. Who do we got here? Oh, we got some highs and hellos. All right, we'll skip that. We got a house call from the doctor. Dr. Proto himself is in the building. Good to see you. Mateo, my brother. Nice to see you. What's cracking? I mean, they are the anti-Ravens. They are. You are correct. 0 starters can miss time. We're going to get to that. Yeah, we're going to get to that, especially on the offensive line. Ooh. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Day Obama at it again. What's up, Rap? If y'all didn't have a chance to check out, Rap and I are going to do a post-game show during the regular season and hopefully the playoffs as well. But we did debut our simulcast on Friday, so check out that show as well. It was a good time on a Friday night. Now, we talked a lot about the game coming up, so, that's, kind of past. But go check out me and Rap's show that we did Friday night. We have Northfius in the building, president accounted for, unlike Oline. Northfius is in the clubhouse leader for quote of the night, ladies and gentlemen. So y'all better bring your A game if you're going to beat Northfius, unlike Oline. I love it. In the Zone podcast, go subscribe to my boy Zone as well. He had a great live on Saturday night with Yogi and Mike Sports Vibe. Good to see you, Zone. Appreciate you. Thank you, Dave. Smash that like button and share. Absolutely. One of the queens is in the building as well. Mary, good evening. Good to see you. I was a little tired today after Monday's a busy day for work at me, so I didn't bring the Coors Light with me. I just brought the water this time, but maybe next week. We got Dave Thibodeau in the building. What's going on, Davey? I forgot to get my tracker. I still got to find one of those trackers. I'm going to see how many Daves I can get in one chat. But good to see you, Dave, as well. SKOL State of Mind. What's up, buddy? How you doing? Thanks for joining me. I appreciate you. VAQ Embrace the Suck is here as well. Saw you earlier. Thanks again for joining me on the Purple and Scold live we did earlier. Appreciate you. Appreciate each and every one of you. Ditter winner, chicken dinner. David Ditter in the building. Drafting AR-15 for fantasy quarterback. Now I'm moving on to Will Sanders as bikes of quarterback's future. Yes. We got to get one in here some point, David, don't we? At some point, we got to get one. And that's not hate on our current guy. That's just the reality of life does go on. But good to see you, Ditter. Appreciate you joining me as always. I'm going to potpourri this. I got a few themes, but you guys put in the chat what you want me to cover because I got a few things for you, but I might potpourri this a little bit here tonight. Purple Games Go Mafia. He's back, or did he even leave? I don't know. It don't really matter. He's here. Purple Gang is right. Thanks, Rap. Mary. All right. My boy Triple P. His shoulder is anything like his dad. No thanks. Well, we're not going to talk about the future. We're going to talk about this season, and we're going to talk about this game that we had. My, oh my, was it so boring. Now, listen, that first couple drives defensively, okay, I like seeing that blitz by Pace Gang. Ivan Pace forced the ball out. Good hit by Lewisine. Well, then there was that other play by Lewisine. We'll talk about that in a minute or two. My, oh my, my, oh my. You know what? I had an order for this. No, I'm going to stay in order. Put Nick Mullins on ice. I don't want to see him on Saturday when I'm in the building at the Arizona Cardinals game. He has done enough. As Tyler stated earlier on the First and Scold feed on the Real Forno show, he is absolutely, definitely one of the top 5 backup quarterbacks. That's all he is. No more and no less. So let's just call it for what it is. We don't need to see him out there anymore. Okay? We don't. We need to see Jaren Hall behind the second string offensive line, and I'm going to talk about him shortly. But the point is, let Nick Mullins ride the pine in this final preseason game. If Kirk Cousins goes down for a game or two, we have a solid backup quarterback that is going to be able to keep us afloat. Like, let's say he missed 4 games. You hope to go 2-2 in those games, no matter what part of the schedule it is. You can go better than 2-2, so much the better. But I don't want to see Nick Mullins out there. I don't. I get it. You need to have some competency at the quarterback because you're also evaluating the wide receivers about who's going to make the final couple of wide receiver spots. I get that. But for me, you should know by now what you got in the wide receiver. You don't know what you got in Jaren Hall yet. So put Nick Mullins on ice. Let him sit out Saturday. And then let's hope we don't see him because Kirk Cousins don't get hurt. Let's hope he maintains that streak. Speaking of Jaren Hall, I want to see some Hall monitoring on Saturday. I want Jaren Hall to be given the same treatment that Malik Willis was given against us this past Saturday. Give him the whole game. If you want to give the new guy a couple series at the end of the fourth quarter, sure, I don't care. But by and large, Jaren Hall needs to be the starting quarterback. He needs to be playing behind the second string offensive lineman, not the third string. Jaren Hall, I got into this with Mike earlier. Mike is already willing to just say, hey, he's just a guy, and if we have to cut him and if another team picks him up, he doesn't care. I disagree. I wholly disagree with my guy, Mike. Love my guy, but I disagree with him. And the reason I say it is this. We haven't had a developmental quarterback that has been worth a darn on this team for years, basically since Kirk Cousins got here. And frankly, even before that, the last one was Teddy, really, if you really want to think about it. I want to see what this guy can do behind. Again, our second string offensive line ain't all that good either, but it's better than the third string. I'm sorry. Jaren Hall has been put into a position to not have a whole lot of success. And what I found interesting about the game on Saturday is third quarter. Oh my gosh, I know. You're just running your same basic offense. You're not going to show all your tricks up your sleeve. I get that. But at least allow the kid something. Now that touch pass he had on the left side, ultimately incomplete. He was under pressure, stepped out of the pressure, lofted up a ball. And if that was a real game with a real receiver or a real tight end, no offense, that could easily have been caught. It would have been a great throw. Now in the fourth quarter, on that last drive where they scored a touchdown, they actually opened up the offense a little bit. Hey, we're going to do some play action and some rollouts. I mean, that's still basic enough, apparently. Don't know why he couldn't have done that in the third quarter. Could have entertained the fans watching the game in person. Could have entertained the fans watching at home, trying to stay awake. But I digress. Jaren Hall used his feet to get out of pressure, set himself up. Again, nice dump off, easy throws. I get that. We're not jumping up and down saying that Jaren Hall set the world on fire in that last drive, but he looked like a fifth-round draft pick rookie. Really green around the edges, but he showed us a little something. And no, I'm certainly not willing to give up on this guy. I'm certainly not willing to say, well, we'll take a chance and cut him and hope we can get him on the practice squad. No, he gets a roster spot because you need somebody like him in the building to learn behind Kirk Cousins and Nick Mullins, to be under the tutelage of Kevin O'Connell, and to actually see if we have something. I'm not, yes, best case scenario is Jaren Hall is ready to start in 2024. I am certainly not predicting that. Would I love it? Yes, because that means you got 3 more years of a guy on a rookie contract at the quarterback position with positional value, okay? But he's never going to get there if you're constantly putting one hand tied behind his back. So for me, put Jaren Hall as a starting quarterback in the final preseason game against the Arizona Cardinals this Saturday. Please do that. Comments time. Goodness, I ain't trying to get too far behind. I learned my lesson last week. Holy cow, did I get behind last week. A lot of what's ups and hellos. Good to see you guys interacting. Let's see. Yeah, Rab, we missed you on Versus School tonight. By the way, Rab, put it in the chat. How's your wife doing? She feeling better? I hope so. Agreed, Mullins and mothers need to see other guys. Thank you, Worthless. This is why your opinion is not worthless. I don't even remember after the first quarter. Just a bunch of nothing. You are correct. Mateo says, can't lie. I'm hyped for this new guy, Tamu. I'm not sure how you say it, which might be the only one. Well, hey. Listen, I want a DTR. Go back and watch the tapes. I didn't say that after the fact. I said that. First I wanted to trade up to get Anthony Richardson, and I didn't care if we had to give up 3 first-round draft picks. But sans that, I said, okay, my next target is DTR. I wanted nothing to do with Will Levis. And DTR looking all right so far. Just Vibes, what's going on? Good to see you. Shout out Just Vibes. What's going on, brother? Amen, brother. Justin on Hall. Thank you. Appreciate you, Dave. I mean, listen, Tyler Fornes is absolutely the president of the Jaren Hall Club, and I'm the vice president. I'm not quite where he's at, but I'm pretty close. And I think that we need to overlook a little bit the fact that this guy is a little bit older because he sat out of football for 2 years. So in football years, he's really only 23, even though in real years, he's 25. But I digress. Tamu is here in case Hall gets hurt in the Cardinals. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I would tend to agree with that. Absolutely want to see Hall play, not run for his life. Thank you, Mary. That's all he's been doing is running for his life. I. I'm joining for SKOL, waiting for Dave to draft me. All right, y'all work that out. What's up, Holden? Holden in the house. What's going on, Holden? Good to see you. Good to see you. Thanks for joining. I appreciate you. I really do. And if y'all didn't hear me say it, I appreciate every one of y'all who hit me up with that subscribe button and has got me past the 700 mark. I'm trying to get to the 1,000 mark by, say, the end of September. If I can get that, I'm going to be in good shape. So share it, tell your friends, do all that stuff, and tell everybody about all the content creators. Y'all know Purple Pocket Podcast. Y'all know In the Zone. Y'all know Dave from First and SKOL, Dave from Minnesota Sports Talk, GG Sports, Purple and SKOL Media. Tell your friends. We build in this community. Because when one of us wins, we all win. We're not in competition. We don't care about that. We're just trying to help everybody. And this is going to be a fun season, assuming we can get a few of these other things fixed. Now, I'm going to get this one out the way. Bustville. Lewis Cine, Andrew Booth Jr. The first two picks that Kwesi Adofo-Mensah had last year. As I have said, it is not Lewis Cine's fault. For however you want to grade that trade, when the Vikings traded with the Detroit Lions from 12 down to 32 and picked up some ancillary picks. I said it at the time. If you hadn't also given up your own second-round pick, I would have liked this deal. If you had acquired Detroit's first-round pick this year, I would have loved that deal. I didn't like the deal at the time, but the results of the players, that goes on Kwesi. So I think we need to take a step back on Lewis Cine about how much we are grading him. We need to grade him on the same curve that we would have graded him, say, if he had been a second-round pick. Okay? We can't blame him for the perceived sins of the trade and say, oh, well, this guy's a bust. You traded back that many picks. You didn't get enough in return, and this guy's a bust. Okay, one's got nothing to do with the other. Okay? It doesn't. Now, Lewis Cine had a devastating injury last year. This is basically his rookie season. Yes, I'll tell you right now. I'm not saying I've talked to Kwesi, but I can pick up on some stuff. Lewis Cine is a comparable player theoretically to Harrison Smith. He wanted to take Lewis Cine last year, play 1 year with Harrison Smith, and have Lewis Cine take over the Harrison Smith role. He's much better in the box than he is a deep safety. He is, but he's not going to get that opportunity right now because you still got Harrison Smith doing the blitzing, playing up in the box, trying to decipher what the quarterback's going to do and try to play cat and mouse with the quarterback. You can't have two guys like that. And you're not going to pull that off of Harrison Smith and make him just be the deep safety and not take full advantage of Harrison Smith's talents. So right now, yeah, Lewis Cine hasn't been able to crack the lineup. We got a pretty deep safety room. So all I'm going to say is this. Am I disappointed that Lewis Cine hasn't progressed as much as I would have liked him to? Yes, a little bit. I'm not going to lie. But at the same time, to call Lewis Cine a bust right now is preposterous. Now, Andrew Booth Jr., I'm a little different on him. And part of the reason is because he has such an injury history. Okay? Andrew Booth Jr., when he got drafted, said, hey, I ain't been healthy since grade school. Okay, high school. You get the point. Point is, Andrew Booth Jr., you had a 3rd and 4 and a stretch run play, and you were one-on-one with a running back. That's a play you have to make, particularly when you're a guy that hasn't progressed enough. A couple plays later, your buddy Lewis Cine is jumping and diving out of the way like it was Adrian Peterson barreling down on him for the touchdown. See, that's what we're going to need from this defense. When you have opportunities to get off the field, you have to take advantage of them. You cannot say, oh, I had an opportunity to get off the field and I missed it. Okay, it's preseason. The world's not ending. But come regular season time, those are the type of plays that this defense needs to make if we're going to do anything. You're not going to have that many opportunities. As far as Andrew Booth Jr. goes, I've said it for weeks. I'm no longer disappointed because to me at this point, I have no expectations. I have expectation level 0. 0. And if we get any production out of him, it's found money. You've heard me say it. I'll say it one more time. Andrew Booth Jr., I hope he proves us all wrong. I hope that by the middle of the season, He's balling out, and we get to look back at all the content we did and say, oh, is Andrew Booth Jr. cuttable? No, he's not cuttable. Is he Bustville? No, not yet. He just hasn't progressed yet. You need time, okay? Rookies don't. Again, we got spoiled with Justin Jefferson just walking in here and taking over the league. We got spoiled by Adrian Peterson. We got spoiled by Randy Moss. Okay? We're spoiled in thinking, okay, if you're a first or a second round pick, Phil Lodeholt's another one, second round pick, started right away. I know we're going back a few years, but my point is that's not the norm. The norm is it takes a couple of years to develop. The problem is the Vikings have been in win now mode, and they've had such areas of need that they maybe overdrafted some players saying, okay, we need this, we need that, so we're going to take this guy and hope he can just step right in. We need to give these guys a little bit more time before it's welcome to Bustville for them. But that's just me. What is going on? Who else is in the building? I think I saw another name come in just a minute ago. Aha! There he is. I want to mock Bob. What's going on, Bob? Thanks for joining. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you. We both wanted DTR. Yes. Yeah, we did. Circling back a little bit. Dave treating you like a seven. I don't know about all that rap, but there you go. There you go. DTR could be a starter in this league. Yeah. I mean, it's preseason. We don't overreact. We don't underreact. Actually, yes, we do. But we'll see. I like the kid, though. And I'm rooting for him because I really wanted that guy. Don't do what? Don't say that they're not bust yet. Yeah, they're not bust yet. Yeah, I know Lewis Cine got injured today. But even beyond that, I'm just saying he's not a bust yet. Not a bust yet. There was my other guy. There's my guy, SKOL TY. What's going on? SKOL TY challenged me on a One Bar and Lupagus show to do some trivia because I got one bar. It was a best of 5. I was down 2-0, and I came back and beat him. SKOL TY said, hey, we got to do that sometime. Hey, you get those guys to do it for you. We'll do it. You'll kill me. I'll tell you that right now. It was pure luck, but that's all right. If you look at that whole draft, well, yeah, but again, I'm going to put that back up. The whole draft looks like our expectation levels need to be recalibrated. We're expecting guys to just walk in and be what Justin Jefferson, Randy Moss, Phil Lodeholt, Adrian Peterson. They're not all going to be that way. They're not all going to be that way. Yes, it's disappointing. And yes, we need them to do more than what they've done if we're going to try and turn this defense around, even with the addition of Brian Flores and the retention of Danielle Hunter and Ivan Pace Jr., etc. I know we need them to be more, but we have to ask ourselves, what's a fair expectation? Dave says, seriously, I don't think we have any idea what Flo is doing with the safety. No, but we'll see. I'll reserve judgment till week 1 when the starters are out there. But you got a very good point. SKOL for Life is in the building. What's going on? SKOL for Life. Good to see you. Good to see you. There's my guy, Mike. I just want a good pass blocker. That's all. Yes. Don't we all just want one good pass blocker on the interior? Just one. Like one Super Bowl before we die. Just one competent guard is all we're asking for. Rap says she's doing better. I think she just wanted me to cook. All right. Hey, you know what? Happy wife, happy life. Or something. That's what I'm told, apparently. Booth will be a bust in my mind. He can't be changed. I'm not saying you're wrong that he will be or that he could be. I'm just saying to definitively say that right now, just like to definitively say Jaren Hall is just a guy. It's too early for that. It is absolutely too early for that. Bob thinks Irv Booth Jr. That's another one. We got another entry for Line of the Night. How many games does Cine play? Needs time to play. Thank you, Mary. I agree with you. Again, I'm not saying that we can't be disappointed, but to be all in all, like, oh, he's done. No. All right. Time to go in the Wayback Machine. Wrong one. Production value. Time to go in the Wayback Machine. Stephon Diggs is in the news again, ladies and gentlemen. Boy, who here is shocked that Stephon Diggs once again says he doesn't want. Now, again, he didn't say it. Stephen A. Smith said it. In fact, let's just go ahead and listen to it directly from the horse's mouth, shall we?
Brother wants out. He don't want to be in Buffalo anymore. He don't want to. I'm telling you right now. I have my sources. Stephon Diggs got to be there, but he would prefer to be gone because he's lost a level of belief in the Buffalo Bill. That's right, I said it. It's Stephen A, baby. I'm telling you what I know, okay? They can deny, they can tell you what to do. I have my sources. I'm telling you what I know, all right? But he's not going to force his way out. He know he got to be there and they got to perform. But he ain't feeling the Buffalo Bills the way that he once did.
He ain't feeling the Buffalo Bills the way he once did. Boy, who here is shocked? Okay. For a while, we've been saying that both teams won that trade. And for the first couple of years, yeah, both teams did well in that trade. And to the surprise of nobody here in Vikingsville, Stefon Diggs isn't happy. Now, here's the funny part of this. Stefon Diggs just had his contract reworked. He would have $45 million in dead cap hits if the Bills were to trade him. They would have $31 million of it hit in 2024, and they would have 13 of it hit this year. He's not getting traded unless somebody comes up and blows him away, because that is a massive, massive dead hit. 13 million. Yeah, they'd save 1.6 this year, but 30 some million dead cap hit next year if they traded Stefon Diggs. And I like what, again, say what you want about Stephen A. Smith. Say what you want about Stephen A. Smith. Okay. And we could go on for a whole hour about Stephen A. Smith. But when I first saw that today, I'm just like, oh, what is Stephen A. saying? And then I'm like, yeah, I could believe that. I could believe that. Steph will always have the Minneapolis Miracle. But I can't say that I'm sorry you're not a Viking anymore. And no, let's just get it out the way right now. For those who are suggesting that the Vikings try and get Stefon Diggs back and pair him with Jefferson, Addison, and Osborne, hell no. Sorry. There was a time I would have loved to have seen it. Like, if after 2019, you even though you just won a playoff game, if you had gotten rid of Mike Zimmer then and still got Justin Jefferson in the building and had an offensive coach, yes, I would have loved to have seen him and Diggs and Thielen. At this point, no, thank you. Not worth the headache. Not worth the headache. Stefon Diggs. Come on. No, thank you. No, thank you. Stefon Diggs did it again. When are we going to learn? Are we ever going to learn? I don't think so. I had to get that one. I'm done talking about former Vikings. I'm not going to talk about Dalvin Cook anymore. And maybe a few weeks into the season, if he's balling out, we'll say, hey, kudos to you. Good luck, Buffalo. Good luck. We tried to warn you. Let's get back to some comments here real quick. Let me flip this back. If you haven't hit the like button already, hit that like button for me. Let's get this popping here. Somebody give me a count. Give me a count how many likes we got and how many watching we got. And do the numbers add up? Do the numbers add up? That's what I want to know right now. Mike says he's got more faith in Hall than he does Booth Jr. And I already know your faith level in Hall is like 0. So, but we'll take that for what it's worth. Booth is so bad, it makes me miss Chris Cook. I don't know about that. Oh, that's a good. I'm going to have to think on that one for a minute. I don't know that he makes me miss Chris Cook, but that's an interesting thought. I hadn't thought of it that way. Not very good point, Mary. Thank you, Mary. Appreciate it. Who was the other Clemson CB that was a bust Zimmer drafted? That would be Mackenzie Alexander. He had a great 2017, and that was about it. I think that's what you're talking about. Right on cue. Actually, that was a couple of minutes ago. I know, but thank you. Appreciate you. Norris vs. Diggs is a malcontent. Yeah, he's definitely diva and probably malcontent. He'll never have a quiet offseason. You are correct. Yeah, we all told them, SKOL TYA, we all told them they didn't want to listen to us. AJ, what's popping? Hey, this chat's popping right now. Thanks again, everybody, for joining me. Good to see you, AJ. I appreciate you. Allen got to pick one game, throw to Diggs every pass play, and extend his arm out. Where's every time he doesn't make a play? There you go. I listen to that. Bob says he'll end up in Dallas. That would make Dallas interesting. He would eat Dak Prescott alive, though. Exactly. Grandizer, what's going on? Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you. He always put in SKOL Vikes. Paul, appreciate you. Thanks for joining. Thank you so much. Oh, we got to get the other half. Of course we got to get the other half. Absolutely. I'm going to get to you know what? I'm a star years holding. I'm going to get back to that one because that might be on the list. The likes ain't adding up. All right. You know what I need to do? I should have done it while the video was playing. I need to make you guys some wrench gang. I need to get some wrench gangs in here. Okay, 23 likes, 23 watching. Okay, that's not bad. What's up, Blaze? Thanks. Appreciate you. Illy, your stuff. I appreciate you, man. Good to meet you. Hey, I just met Blaze on Saturday during the live stream over on Minnesota Sports Talk. It got a little funny at the end when you guys were talking about how old you guys really, really were. I'm not even so sure about that. Grandizer, the straw that stirs the drink. You are correct. You are correct. No, we do not need Fred. So, AJ, what are you talking about? Unpopular opinion. That's an understatement. No, I'll say no. Even before his arrest issues in this last week. No, thank you. No, thanks. No, Blaze. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Hope everybody's well. Yeah, we are. We're less than 4 weeks away from week 1. So we are absolutely well. Speaking of past exclusives, watching AP run over Tremendous, all of those were the days, weren't they? Oh, thank you. Thanks, Rap, for... You know, you got to teach me how to do them polls. I should have done that. I need that. Yes, Mafia, I have to figure out how to do that. Tighten them up. Exactly. Love Bolt 2.0. GG Sports in the building was just talking about you. They're going to be at SKOL Fest. Go check them boys out after the show as well. I didn't have a chance to get started. I had a few things I had to wrap up between my Vikings, my purple and SKOL duties before tonight. So I will check you guys out after the show is over. Yo, what's up? What's up? All right. Since Holden brought it up, I got to make sure I hit the right one this time. Tailor made. You know, we've been bringing in all these running backs. We don't like our running back depth right now. And who knows what is going on with Kene Nwangwu. I mean, they signed that guy, Aaron Dykes, because he's a kickoff return guy. Put it in the chat. Put J for Jonathan and K for no thanks. I know that's not grammatically correct, but Rap just did his yes or no for Diggs. So I'm going to say J for yes, K for no on Jonathan Taylor. There is a part of me that is intrigued by the idea. Now, it all would depend on what you'd have to give up in the first place. I'm not giving up a first or a second round draft pick. We can throw that out the window right now. And yes, Indy is going to say that they're looking for a first round. Well, of course, that's what you're going to say. And they know for dang sure they're not getting a first round pick. Even for somebody who, sans his injury last year, you could make the argument is one of the top 3 running backs in the NFL. They ain't getting no first round pick. You get him for a 3rd or a 4th round pick? I'm intrigued. Because he can pass catch, he can run, he can block. And even though I've been saying all offseason, you've already turned over this team to Alexander Madison, Jonathan Taylor make me go, that's interesting. That makes me think about it anyway. It's not going to happen. Let's just get that out the way. It's not going to happen. The Wilfs would not do that move. Kwesi would not do that move. The Vikings probably shouldn't do that move. That's a luxury pick. I've been saying, hey, keeping a guy like Dalvin Cook's luxury. But Dalvin Cook's older, and you've seen him decrease in production over the last couple of years. So it's a little bit different when we're talking about Jonathan Taylor. Would I do it? If it was a 5th round pick, yeah, I'd do it. It's not going to get him for a 5th round pick. Should the Vikings get Jonathan Taylor? Probably not. Probably not. Because he's in the last year of his rookie deal. He'll only be $4.3 million, so he'd fit under the salary cap. But then he's going to want an extension. You got your TJ extension. You got your JJ extension. You got your Darisaw extension. You got to figure out what you're doing with Kirk Cousins. I've been going on and on about not spending money on the running back. I mean, yeah, if you could get him and not have to extend him and say, hey, we're just going to keep you as a mercenary. We're going to play this season out. And we'll see where the chips fall at the end of the year. And he would come in and do that and play for us without an extended contract the way he wouldn't do with the Colts. Sure. Oh, yeah. I'll give up a 3rd round pick, even if it is a rental. Because that takes your offense from top 7 or 8 to top 3 or 4. But it's a pipe dream. It is a pipe dream. Any further thoughts on Booth? We just got to give him time. And unfortunately, we're trying to tell ourselves we're competitively rebuilding, and we're trying to do the rebuild part, but we're also trying to do the competitive part. So if you're going to do the competitive rebuild, you need guys like Booth Jr. and Scene to come through right now. That's the problem. is you've got a couple of rookies who aren't ready, who need time to marinate and develop, but you've told yourselves, no, we're staying competitive. Detroit is overhyped. Chicago's terrible. Green Bay is going to be bad with Jordan Love, so we can win this division and get back in the playoffs. So that's part of the problem too, is that those expectations, that thought process is part of the reason you need Cine and Booth to be more than what they have been. And that's not on them. That's on the team. So yeah, no, we got to give those guys more time. SKOL TY, not for the money he wants. Yeah, if you got to give him a contract, I mean, yeah, if you traded for him and you had to give him a contract extension, then no, I'm out. If you can keep him as a mercenary for 1 year, sure, I would do that. Left guard would help the running situation, just as yes. And that's the thing. I got one more thing. So let's take these down. But before that, Kwesi doesn't know what an extension is. You're right. He hasn't done one yet. I know I'm keeping early, but I'm keeping my Ivan Pace brother for next year. We've talked about that on actually Raptors talked about that a little bit. Then we would be the Pace gang. Get both the Pace brothers in here. I agree, Norpheus. We need a blocker for the running back and the quarterback. Yes, I agree. Depth is a worry. Holy cow, is it ever? I'm going to save SKOL for life for a minute. So I'm going to get back to this. Another free agent that is available. Is it a need or would it be greed? Greedy Williams, formerly of the Cleveland Browns, was cut by Philadelphia. Would you bring Greedy Williams into this chat? Let me know. Yes or no. Hit G for greedy and N for need, I guess. I don't know. I got to learn how to do these polls. But, Mike brought up an interesting point. He probably would fit okay with Flores. Veteran. Hasn't quite lived up to the hype. He's been okay. He's been solid. I'd be interested. If you can get him for that $1.5 million that Philadelphia signed him for, would I do it? Yeah, I'd do that. Because we've been talking all night. You got Andrew Booth Jr., questionable. A lot of injury history. A Caleb Evans. We want a Caleb Evans to work out. We like his skills. But he's gotten all of these concussions. He had 3 concussions last year. And they kept him out of the game because he hit his head. They said, we're not taking any chances. Would I take Greedy Williams on this team? I absolutely would. I mean, my first choice, of course, is Dalton Reisner. Second choice, Greedy Williams. But yes, we need to get some depth in the cornerback room. We need to get some depth in the offensive line room. Heck, we need some starters in the offensive line room. But yeah, tell me what you think about Greedy Williams. Put it in the chat. You take Greedy Williams, we take a chance on him? Or would you say, hey, we got too many other needs? Because to me, I absolutely would take a shot at Greedy Williams. We need help. We need help. Let's get back to the comments. Let's get back to them. I think I see some new people in the building. Mike Sports Vibe. What's going on, Mike? Went back and watched the rest of y'all live stream. Y'all did a great job on Saturday. Y'all did a great job. Thanks for joining me, brother. I appreciate you, man. Hi, Justin. Is that Too Evil to Hope? If y'all don't know the bit, Too Evil made up something that I said I'd do a giveaway. I said I don't have anything to do giveaways on, but that's all right. I would actually be disappointed if Too Evil didn't mess with me, because then I think he'd be mad at me or something. So, but good to see you, Too Evil, as always. I appreciate you coming on in through. I appreciate you. Mateo says yes on Greedy and no on Taylor. I would definitely agree with that. My worth his opinion. Talk that talk. That's his line. Talk that talk. Holden says he's in for Greedy Williams. Mike Sports Vibe says he's saying hello to Holden, excuse me. Dave, I see you on Jaquilin Roy. I'm going to talk about him in a minute. Black Monsters today. Absolutely not. That was the first jersey I ever bought. Now, I did buy a white Randy Moss. I also bought a purple Randy Moss, but that's the first one I got. Let me tell you a story about me wearing that jersey real quick. Side note. I went to a Timberwolves game, and it had to have been in 2000 because Chris Carter was there, Tony Williams was there, the late great Corey String was there, and Randy Moss was there. And of course, everybody was saying, hey, Randy, hoping that he'd shake his hand or whatever. And Randy had said, all right, I've shook enough hands, whatever, that sort of thing. And I yelled out to him, Super Freak! And he turned up and he saw me wearing that jersey at a Timberwolves game. And he stopped and he turned around and came back and said, yo, what's up, man? So no, that's never leaving my possession. Not helping. Why not on the cheap? No, I agree. Couple more in here. I thought I saw somebody. If anyone gets to there you go. Yeah, nobody's getting it. Sorry. Not happening. I don't even know if you can get any of those anymore. Okay. We had a great question from Dave. What is going on with Jaquelin Ward? Has he even been playing? I've never seen him. He's on a milk carton for me too. He's on a milk carton. I'm not saying he's in danger of getting cut because he was a 4th round pick. In fact, I think they traded up a couple slots to get him. So I don't think he's in danger of getting cut. But no, I haven't seen a thing out of him. I think we're going to see a lot of him come Saturday because right now, he's fighting. He's fighting to just be like the last guy on the roster in the defensive line on the interior. I haven't seen him, so I don't know. I wish I had an answer for you, but I don't know. I haven't seen him. I consume Score North. Judd hasn't made any comments about him other than that he's barely seen him. Matthew Collar hasn't said much about Jaquelin Roy other than he got in with the 3rd and 4th stringers. So I don't know. But at the end of the day, I'm not really too worried about him. He's a 4th round draft pick. He's not going to just come in and start. He's going to be one of those rotational guys at best, and he's going to be a guy that needs time to develop. But, yeah, I was hoping for a little bit more out of Jaquelin Roy. But Najee's doing all right. He's fine. He's going to be the starter. Let me pull it up here real quick. Let me get the whole roster up. Sure, computer, now you decide that you want to be slow. Using up all the bandwidth talking to you guys. I'll get back to that in a minute. What if Jaquelin doesn't look good so far for him being a stud? I'll tell you that right now. All right, so what do you think of the Vikings coaching staff getting rid of? That is so ridiculous. Like, first of all, how are you going to rank Bill Belichick? Wasn't Belichick like 1 or 2? Bill Belichick ain't done anything for the last 3 years. That is like emeritus rankings to put Bill Belichick that high. You've got a guy who took an 8-9 team to 13 wins. And you can talk about fraudulent this or they got lucky that. You don't luck your way into 13 wins. You just don't. He pumped up the tires on a team that was coming off an 8-win season that lost all of those close games. And then you bring in a former head coach as your defensive coordinator, who by all accounts is getting blackballed by the league because of the situation in Miami. So I'm sorry. I'm not saying he should have been in the top. The Vikings staff should have been in the top 5. I'm not saying that. But 23rd? What? Coming off of 13 wins? That's as much BS as him not even getting in consideration for Coach of the Year last year. I'm not saying he should have won, but... All right, Grandizer, what you got for me? Justin, shout out to Roar of the Lions UK for this question. How active via trade do you think the Vikings will be after the last preseason game for positions of need as opposed to those getting cut? That is a very interesting question. The one thing we know about Kwesi is he's always looking for bargains. He's looking to bargain bin guys that have been cast aside, maybe because of injury history or didn't develop the way they thought they were going to, high draft picks, that sort of thing. I mean, we got how many wide receivers or first round picks we got on this roster right now? 4 or 5. So I could see that being the case. To me, though, the only positions that I'm trying to trade for are guards, ones that could start, that are an improvement over Ezra Cleveland, and why am I drawing a blank? Ed Ingram. See, I can't even remember the guy's name. He's just so mediocre at best. And as I said last week, I don't entirely blame Ed Ingram. He wasn't ready. You know, Dave from First and SKOL always says the big round bellies need a year or two to develop. And he's a second round pick, so let's just throw him right out there. He's got to be an improvement over what we saw from Oli Udoh and who are these guys? See, they're so forgettable. Dakota Dozier, Drew Samia. He's got to be better than those guys, right? Well, he was better than those guys barely when he wasn't stepping on Kirk Cousins. So, no, I could see that as a possibility. Absolutely. I'm hoping that he doesn't get too far into the trading 3rd and 4th round picks for guys. I hope he doesn't go to them. Mary's right, spot on though. Stadium was ranked number 1. We got the best, and that stadium is paid off, so it's all profit from the Wills here on in. But yes. What do you think of? I think he's got. I said this a little bit before, but I'll say it again. I think this Kenny Nwangwu injury situation is more than meets the eye. I said that when they signed him. I did a quick video on this guy. You don't bring in an undrafted rookie free agent who's known for being a kickoff return specialist if there's not something wrong with Kenny Nwangwu. Now, as far as the running back depth goes, I'm okay with Alexander Madison and Ty Chandler for the time being, which is why there's a small part of me on Taylor, but I just know that that's not going to happen. But, he looked good on his first kickoff. The second to third was kind of up and down. So, again, he's an undrafted rookie free agent out of a smaller school, and so he's just a guy. But no, he could very easily make this roster. There's a possibility that Kenny Nwangwu could go on injured reserve and miss this whole season, because if you put a man on your 53 roster, and after your roster is set, then you put a guy on injured reserve, then he can come back after a certain amount of weeks. But if you injure reserve a guy before you do your 53-man cuts, he's out for the whole year. And there is some serious talk that he could be out for the year and put on injured reserve. And so then we're going to have this nice guy be our kickoff return guy, just out of nowhere. Good luck to him. I like what I saw for what it was, which was a couple of nice returns, but don't know too much else about him other than that. I said it earlier before you got in here. We hope Jaren Hall starts too, or at least I do. Most of us do. There's no need to put Nick Mullins back out there. There's no need. You get Jaren Hall behind a better offensive line, so to speak, as it is with our guys. Better is a relative term, of course. But no, Jaren Hall needs to start on Saturday. Absolutely no doubt about that. I agree, AJ. Need to watch other teams for competent offensive linemen. And yeah. The thing of it is, though, here's the only thing I say, and that's part of the reason why I've been on this Dalton Risner train for as long as I have. If you pick up a guy who gets cut on the 53 cut down day, that means he hasn't been in the building practicing with our team, learning our blocking schemes, learning our playbook, getting comfortable with Kirk Cousins and his cadence and his checks and all of those other things. That's why I wanted Dalton Risner in here at the start of training camp to get acclimated. You bring in Dalton. Okay, let's talk about Risner too. So Andy from Purple for the Win and Doogie echoed this as well, or maybe it was the other way around. Doesn't really matter. Say, well, they like Andy, they like Dalton Risner, but they want to sign him after week 1 so they don't have to guarantee his salary. How stupid is that? I'm sorry. That's just dumb. If you believe that Dalton Risner is an upgrade over what you have, you get him in here to get acclimated and do all those things I just said, regardless of what your schedule is. But let's analyze this. The Vikings play week 1 against Tampa Bay at home. So if you sign him on Monday, you got a Thursday night football game in Philadelphia. So if you did sign Dalton Risner after week 1, just so that you can pinch a few pennies and not guarantee his contract, you're going to put Dalton Risner in Philly after 1 practice and a walkthrough? That doesn't have disaster written all over it. And if you don't play him at all, well, then you're not playing him until week 3. So I'm sorry. If that's true, and that's what they're waiting on Dalton Risner, to wait until we can sign him and not have to guarantee his full contract and it goes game by game, that's cutting your nose to spite your face. I understand analytics, and I understand being good with your money, and I understand maneuvering your salary cap and all the salary cap issues we have and all the dead money. You've heard me say that a bazillion times. But if you're serious about the competitive side of this competitive rebuild, you have let the one area on your offense that is most pertinent to keeping your quarterback upright go to mediocrity at best. And you got a guy out there in Dalton Risner, and you don't want to bring him in because you don't want to guarantee his salary. That's just dumb. But to your question, AJ, I absolutely do think that they're going to be watching for some guys, but I still say you're playing with fire there, because then you're just bringing guys in a week before the start of the season. I know. What you got, Ditter? Justin, you won't have to buy a drink. You wear that Moss jersey at SKOL Fest. I figured out what my attire is going to be. I wasn't sure if I was going to wear my Jefferson. I might do that. That's a great idea, Ditter. That is a great idea. I appreciate you. Winning is winning. Yeah, it is. Not sure what you're referring to, though. Probably something. See, that's the one part about going back and forth. I kind of lose track of what's going to. Very active, semi-active, not active at all. What you talking about, Granda? I'm sorry, guys. I try not to get too far behind. I know that one was 6 minutes ago, so I already forgot what y'all were talking to. But anyway, our Vikings will never get any love from the outside. Yeah, you know what? I ain't worried about that part, Mafia. I'll tell you why. The Vikings have a propensity that when nobody is paying any attention to them, they overachieve. And just when people start paying attention to them, they underachieve. So let them not pay attention to us at all. That's what I say. But yes. Oh, winning's. Oh, okay. Yeah. To me, if you're going to be competitive in this competitive rebuild, one of these days I'm going to get on a show with Tyler from Vikings versus SKOL. Me and Tyler and Dave. I understand what he's saying about you just need average play from your interior, from Ezra Cleveland into Garrett Bradbury into Ed Ingram. That's all well and good for the regular season. Yes, you can survive a 17-week schedule and win 10, 11, 12 games if you got average from the interior of your offensive line. That's true, but that's not what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about if you win the division and you win your wild card round game and you have to go on the road to Philly, Dallas, or host Dallas maybe, or go on the road to San Francisco, average on the interior and go win you a playoff game on the divisional round of the playoffs on the road. And that's why I would rather get Dalton Reisner in, take a little bit of a step back from the continuity standpoint, because by the end of the season, hopefully that continuity will have gotten to a better level so that you're better prepared for the playoffs. But that's just me. We've seen this song and dance. We've seen Kirk Cousins not have any good guard play his entire career in Minnesota. How is it not obvious? I said this earlier. Last year after the Buffalo game, we all saw that this defense wasn't going to be able to continue to keep playing with fire. And eventually the league figured us out. That very next week, Dallas came in and smoked us. Now, yes, we're coming off the emotional high of that overtime knockdown, drag-out fight with the Bills. That's all well and good, too. But we all said, maybe we should take the play calling away from Ed Donatel. Give it to Mike Penton. Okay. And Kevin O'Connell said, no, I'm sticking with my guns here. I'm dancing with the one I came here with. Okay. We all saw it. We all saw what happened the last half of the season. Detroit ran us out of town. Green Bay ran us out of town. And the Giants got us in that playoff game. How is it we don't address the obvious issue that is right in front of us? Yes. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate you. Yogi is in the building. What's going on, Yogi? Thanks for joining me. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you. I can't wait to meet you on Saturday. Yogi's and I going, and a bunch of others. He did all these ticket giveaways going to that final preseason game. My daughter will be there as well. They might be 23rd if they roll with this line. We go, well, you might be onto something, Mafia. I hadn't thought of it that way, but you got a very good point. Pick up whoever the Chiefs cut. Well, is the Chief offensive line really that good, or is it good because Patrick Mahomes makes me see? That's the one thing about Kirk, and this ain't Kirk hate. So no, if you love Kirk Cousins, I ain't hating on him. Quarterbacks like Patrick Mahomes and Peyton Manning and Tom Brady have that label of making their offensive line look better. Part of the reason why the Vikings have never put a good guard in front of Kirk Cousins is because that's the kind of quarterback he is. He's the inverse of quarterbacks who make their offensive line look better. Sometimes he makes his offensive line worse. And that's just who he is. I'm not hating on him for it. I'm just saying that's reality. But we've done nothing. Yeah. Oh, well, we've spent a couple of first-round draft picks on a center and a second-round draft pick on a right guard. Again, you're expecting a center or guard to just come right in and play. It's almost SKOL Fest time. Yes, I'll say it right now. Thank you for reminding me. If you're in the Twin Cities area, Saturday, September 9th, 5 to 9, Northeast Palace in Minneapolis. That's 2450 4th Street. SKOL Fest. Myself, Rap, Dave from Minnesota Sports Talk, GG Sports, SK, Yogi. We're going to have a great time. Come on out. No cover charge. But if you are going to come out, go on to Eventbrite and search for SKOL Fest. and RSVP so we get a head count. And we will be doing drawings, giveaways. Grand prize is a pair of tickets to the Tampa Bay game. And if you RSVP on SKOL, you get one entry into that. We will be giving away other entries. But you get a free entry just by RSVP. Now, you must be present to win. At least, I believe that's what I thought. I heard a wet paper bag, better blocker than Dakota Dozier. SKOL TYA, I think he just took the place for the tweet or the comment of the night. Yeah, wet paper bag. Even if they don't find... And even then, no, that's true, man. You know what? I'm done caring about what the media thinks of us. I really am. Let them go ahead and pump up the Lions. And then the Lions, the bigger they are, the harder they fall. Let the Lions get pumped up. Let their fans keep talking their trash, because they won't be talking trash at the end of the season. I'm telling you right now, that last game against Detroit's not going to mean anything to us, I don't think. So it's going to mean something for them. And they're going to fall flat on their face like they always do. Norsevius, sorry, not sorry. Andy is a clown. I've made my stance on Andy clear. Hey, I don't begrudge him. He's been doing this for 10 years. He's got 69,000 followers. I got 700. He's doing something right. But yes, he's a little too Ducky and Bunny for me. He is like Paul Allen wannabe level Ducky and Bunny. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with positivity. I'm positive when the team has earned the positivity. And it's not negative to point out flaws. It's okay to point out flaws in your team. It's okay to say this person is good at this, but has limitations here. He won't say a negative thing about Kirk Cousins. You could put $1 million in front of him to just say, hey, why don't you just say that Kirk is good, not great? And he wouldn't do it. Oh, Dak Prescott is what the media thinks Kirk Cousins is. No, Dak and Kirk are what the media thinks Kirk Cousins is. Good, not great. This is why neither one of them have been past the divisional round of the playoffs. But don't sit, if you're going to sit there and criticize Dak and say that Kirk is like miles better, I'm sorry. That's just not true. They're about the same. They're not the same style of quarterback, but the results are the same, which is, yeah, the Vikings would be trash if they didn't have Kirk Cousins for a full season, just like the Cowboys were garbage without Dak Prescott. But what are those two teams with those two quarterbacks? Teams that have caps of around the division, around in the playoffs. But don't say that one is and one isn't. But and no, I'm not going to get into the off the field stuff with Mr. Purple for the win. Yeah, I mean, he's a good content creator, and I watch some of his video. I don't subscribe to. I don't religiously watch him. But if there's something, like, hey, you know what? I kind of want to hear what he has to say about that one. That's fine. Appreciate you, Rep. Appreciate you. It's too evil. You are outside your god dang mind. Only gonna wear his Viking Speedo. I want people to stay in the building at SKOL Fest, not chase them away. You crazy. My name ain't T-Bass. I don't show up on a live with no shirt on. I saw T-Bass earlier. Hopefully he swings by. I addressed it earlier. There's part of me that would like to see it, but one, it's not realistic, and two, he'd want a big contract from us the same way he does with the Colts. I mean, if you could bring him, I would trade a 4th round pick for a 1-year mercenary. I would do that. You're going to give up a 4th round pick? Yeah. For 1 year? Absolutely, I would. But no, I'm not giving him a big time contract. Mary says, seriously? Oh, Mary, you would make everybody's night if you can get there. Let me know if you need something. Or just let me know what you got going on. Because if you can get there, oh my goodness, Mary, I'd love it. We will drink that place out of Coors Light. We will drink that place out. We had the built-in excuse. Caleb's not happening. Caleb is not happening. Let me stop. Kirk going to yes, please stop. Vikings Uncensored is in the house. Better late than never. You dang Skippy Rhino. Great show. For the parts that I heard, I'll finish watching it later. So again, after the show's over, check out GG Sports, check out Vikings Uncensored, check out the show that me and Rap did on Friday. Check out Vikings versus SKOL with the Real Forno show if y'all didn't have a chance to check it out. But thanks. Good looking out, Rhino. Good looking out. Appreciate you. Chiefs lost the Super Bowl to Tom Brady, then proceeded to buy a top guard tackle and won the following. Yes. It's amazing what happened. I mean, again, Patrick Mahomes is a cheat code. We all know that. We'd all love to have Patrick Mahomes or Joe Burrow. But you're right. When you have a quarterback like that, you can make a move like that. You can get rid of your best wide receiver to get a guard and win a Super Bowl. Oh, you did? All right, cool. Well, you tell you what, Mary, you text me after the show and tell me if you're going to send that out or if you're going to wait to see if you can get there, so I know what's going on with that. But oh, spent a little time with the kiddo before she takes off for California next Friday. That's great, Rhino. That's great. I finally got the X at least for 2 weeks because I do 5 days, 2 days, 5 days. So I got 50-50. And we've been trying to get her to say, hey, why don't we just do a week at a time? So I don't have her this week. I haven't seen mine since Thursday. I won't see mine again until Thursday. But then I got the weekend. And then we go into the Vikings game on Saturday. It's funny. I called her she called me last night after I texted her. And she's just like, how was the game? I'm like, oh, it was boring. It's preseason. It's like, well, do they even try? I'm like, oh, no, the players try because they're trying to get on the team. They're trying to win a job. So she says to me, wait a minute. Is the game we're going to next weekend a preseason game too? I was like, yeah. She's like, is it going to be boring? I'm like, well, it's not going to be the same level because Justin Jefferson and Kirk Cousins and all the good play, they ain't going to play. And she says to me, did you pay for those tickets? I'm like, no. Yogi got them for me. He's like, okay, I guess we can go then. I'm like, yeah, I hope you didn't pay. I'm like, no, I never paid for no preseason game. Sorry, not going to happen. I love this one. Dakota Noser. You ain't funny. Thank you, Rhino. They're the same guy. They're not the same type of quarterback, but they're the same results. Yes, they're good regular season quarterbacks. They'll get you a lot of regular season wins, but they ain't getting you no championship. Hey, sports heaven, what's good? You're here. That's what good. Thanks for joining. I appreciate you. Another person I met Saturday during the live stream that Dave did. Those jerseys behind you go crazy. Yes, they do. Two Evils trying to get me to do a giveaway to give one of these away. I'm like, I ain't giving one of these away. Sorry, not happening. No Speedos at SKOL. Yes. No, thank you. Absolutely not. That's easy. Oh, well, yeah. Well, you know what? That's me and Mary's dream. Pray for May. I wouldn't mind him. I wouldn't mind him at all. What's up? Zach's in the building. What's going on, Zach? How you doing? I'm doing good. We'll take a Minneapolis Miracle to get Caleb Williams. Yes. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. The Chiefs are a middle team. I mean, yeah, you take Mahomes off that team, they are a middle team. Yes, Mahomes and Kelsey. There's a reason the Chiefs had 3 guys in the top 10 voted by the NFL players with Mahomes, Kelsey, and Chris Jones. But they got the right spots. I'm waiting for JJ Person. Okay, cool. Mary. Stop it. Y'all ain't funny. I like to check out those streams. However, they are too long. Time is tight. More shorts for them. Okay. I appreciate the feedback, Grandizer. But you know what you can do? You know, there's this little button on YouTube where you can listen to it at like 1.5 speed or 1.75 or even twice the speed. And so an hour-long live is really only 30 minutes. If you can deal with it sounding like the Chipmunks or like us talking real fast. But anyway, you have an opportunity. That's fine. We appreciate you. Everybody talking about which one of my jerseys they're all going to have. Wait, Jonathan, what's going on? With a better D, we may repeat Flacco Super Bowl. I could see that, but that would take a lot. To me, again, the key is the interior. You're not going to be able to – Kirk Cousins is not going to be able to do the Flacco thing with this interior offensive line. Flacco's offensive line was pretty good. So, yes, the defense was better. The interior of the offensive line. Yes, we had better weapons than Flacco's Super Bowl run. But to me, if we're going to talk about can Kirk Cousins duplicate Flacco's success in the playoffs, well, he needs a better O-line than what we got. That's not hate. That's just reality. But good. Thanks for joining, Jonathan. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you. Y'all done hit the like buttons on the way in. As Rap always says, wipe your feet at the door. Let me get a watch and a like check. Somebody give me a watch and a like check, and I'll get some wrenches out here in a minute. Yeah, I want that jersey. Everybody wants that jersey. Hey, David, what's going on? Yes, say it with me. All right. Hey, if you're gonna be there at the game, you're gonna be there Saturday nights because you can get out to SKOL Fest. I'd love to meet you, David. Thanks for tapping in tonight. Appreciate you. I do. Appreciate all you guys. Didn't I have one more theme I was gonna hit up tonight? Let's take a look here. First off, you got to do this. Yeah, I forgot about that. That's the key. If you had the Dallas Cowboys offensive line from the mid-90s in front of Kirk Cousins, yeah, then Kirk Cousins could absolutely. I see 32 and 33. There you go. Thank you, guys. I appreciate that. Rhino says if we were to go after Jonathan Taylor, we could have just as well kept Cook. Yes, I will say Taylor younger, though. And yes, Taylor had his injury last year, but we've seen decline from Cook. But your point is valid that it's just like, well, why would you do that? You could have just kept Cook. Jonathan Taylor, though, younger version, a little bit faster, a little bit of a better pass catcher, a little bit of a better blocker. But again, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. But dare to dream, though, right? Dare to dream. Have I gone through all of mine? I thought I had one more. Well, I'm just going to say this. I'm going to put the same one back up that I had. Luigi Villain, he's made a roster spot for sure. And whether he's made the third or whether he's still behind Patrick Jones, I think those two are still fighting it out. But I think Luigi Villain has a very good case to be Mr. Mankato, but for Ivan Pace. Ivan Pace has got Mr. Mankato wrapped up. That's a done deal. That is a done deal. But I absolutely love this kid. And not just because he's got a cool name like Luigi, okay? But I like this guy. They actually got some pressure and collapsed the pocket around Malik Willis. Now, they lost contain, unfortunately, and let's go back to talking about that game a little bit. As boring as it was, I know the starters were not in there. I know it's back of this. 281 yards on the ground. We got to tighten that up. I think that we're going to be okay getting after the quarterback. I think the pass rush is going to be fine. I think the blitzing is going to be fine. But my, oh my, and I know it was backups, but if we don't do something about this run defense, it's going to be a long season. It's going to look a lot like Ed Donashell's defense if we don't do something better than 200, dang near 300 yards on the ground. I know you got a running quarterback and all that good stuff, but my goodness, that was so bad. From a monetary, so yeah. I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. So according to the media, Packers are going to, because loan, I think he meant love. Yeah, whatever. The Packers are going to be terrible. They're going to win 6 games or fewer. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. They're not going to win 6. This is what's funny about Packer fans right now and the media talking about. Every year, they talk about how great the Packers defense is. Yes, Jair Alexander is a top 5 cornerback. And would I love to have him on this team despite all the yakking and running his mouth he did last week? And he's been doing that gritty on an incomplete pass last December. Yeah, all of that was standing. Would I love Jair Alexander? Of course I would. And their defense is solid. They have a solid defense. Everybody acting like they have a top 5 defense. They don't. Now, yeah, we don't match up with their defense very well because they can still bring interior pressure, which, we've talked ad nauseum about tonight as well as the last few weeks. But give me a break. The Packers defense isn't the Ravens from 2000. It's not the 85 Bears. It's an okay defense. Yes, if you gave us the Packers defense with our offense, sure, we'd be in business. But and I know people say, well, you can't compare Jordan Love to Aaron Rodgers in his prime. You have to compare Jordan Love to what Aaron Rodgers was last year, and he was terrible last year. He's still a Hall of Fame quarterback. And you're right. The offense might run a little more smooth because Jordan Love is actually going to run the plays that the coach actually called in, as opposed to the coach calling in plays. And sometimes Rodgers would run those plays, and sometimes Rodgers was like, no, we're going to do this. I get all that. But if you're expecting that Jordan Love is just going to come in and lead this Packers team to any more than 6 wins, I'm sorry. No. And I don't want them to be a terrible, terrible team, because I don't want them to get Caleb Williams. So we want them to be about a 6-win team. We want them to be somewhere in the 12 to 15 range when they're picking. A bad enough team where they're not a threat, where they're miserable all year and their fans are miserable, but we don't want them to be a 2-14 or 2-15 team. Reisner, much better pass blocker than a run blocker. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. No chance they get through once. I said that when I was on Purple Daily back in June. I said lightning rarely strikes twice in the same spot. It sure is not going to strike a third time. No. I'm just going to leave that one up for a second. To be fair, I would have punched Russell Wilson. Mr. Unlimited. See, I'm unlimited. You know what I'm saying? Unlimited. I'm unlimited. Oh, shut up, dude. Oh, my gosh. Pete Carroll, as much as we don't like him because he kept beating us all the time, Pete Carroll might have actually been onto something because he's the only one that got Russell Wilson to play with. And again, Nathaniel Hatchett was terrible. He rode the coattails of Aaron Rodgers. And Denver hired him thinking they were going to get Rodgers. So I am going to be interested to see what Russell Wilson does with Sean Payton. It could be interesting. I picked him to lose that game. It's a Sunday night game. It's, in on the road in Denver. I could see Russell. I'm not saying that Russell Wilson's going to get back to what he was in his prime, going to the Super Bowls and that sort of thing. But, that guy, he's such a weirdo. Who's weirder? Russell Wilson or Aaron Rodgers? Mr. Darkness Retreat. There's one. Put it in the chat. Put R for Russell and A for Aaron. Who's weirder? Because they're both just weird dudes. I don't get it. Justin, do you want the Russell Wilson tag us in? AJ says Pete Carroll is him. I mean, he found a way to get something more out of him than anybody else did. So, Rodgers impatient with his receiver. Yes, Mary. Once again, all of a sudden, Rod, hey, what's going on here? Yeah, what's going on here is you might be over the hill. And no, I don't want Rodgers next year or 2 years from now. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. His old skin whistling in the pit. Yeah, he was, but again, it's practice. We're talking about practice, not a game. We're talking about practice. Yes, Naylor was back today. That's good. Jordan Addison was also back, but he was wearing one of the red jerseys, so they're still taking precautions. Again, I'll be in the building against Arizona on Saturday. Would I like to see Jordan Addison there? Of course I would. But realistically, I said it after week 1 before he got the concussion in practice. Put him on ice too. Don't need to be seeing any more of him. Do not need to be seeing any more of him whatsoever. Peace, everyone. Hey, Holden, thanks for stopping by. I'm getting ready to wrap here in a couple minutes anyway. Been on for over an hour. AJ said both of them. All right. He said both. Rhino says Wilson is weirder. Rodgers just BS crazy. All right. Well, 6 of one, half dozen of the other, I guess. SKOL TY, what I hate about Wilson is he's arrogant enough to think that Seattle was losing sleep. Yes. That's very, very true. That's very, very true. I will agree with you, AJ. I agree with you. Naylor had the inside track to be wide receiver 4 before he got hurt. And then they brought in a couple other guys. And oh, by the way, what's his name? Lucky Jackson. He's not looking too bad either. So, yeah, they've put a lot into this Naylor guy. They liked him a lot last year. They kept him, even though he was a late round pick. And everybody was talking to him. And he looked great in the spring and he looked great in June. But, yeah, he's going to need to show something. He's going to need to show something. Give me just a second. Oh, you work in the grave. All right, Grandizer. Appreciate you. I appreciate you. Thanks again for stopping in. And thank you for all the support. Oh, speaking of which, tomorrow night on Under the Lights with me and Dave, Jade will be our special guest. So after you're done, hit the like button if you didn't already. If you don't already subscribe, hit the subscribe button. But if you could go to the upcoming lives and hit the like button there for me, to give a few extra hours for the algorithm to pick up on it so it gets spread around a little bit more. If y'all could hit that like button on tomorrow night's show for me, that'd be great. I appreciate you guys. Oh, yeah, it's been an hour. Need a drink. Yes. I think Nair's going to play on Saturday. And I want to see him. I want to see Jaren Hall and him ball out. 100 plus yards and a touchdown. Like I said, just make the game entertaining. I get it. You don't want to show everything. That's fine. But it's like what Tyler said earlier. I know you're just going to run your same basic plays over and over again. But they opened up the playbook a little bit more in that fourth quarter drive. Just open it up a little bit. I'm not saying go run and shoot. I'm not saying go air Coryell. I'm not saying do the halfback pass or the flea flicker. I'm not saying that, but give us something so that we're not falling asleep at noon. Grandizer jokingly, no, not Jade, anybody, her. Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, you're her main moderator, but yeah, I know you're just being funny. All right, for real. I'm going to wrap it up here, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank each and every person who came into the stream tonight. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. This season is going to be a lot of fun. Just a reminder that once the season starts, I don't know if I'm going to go exactly at 8 or if I'm going to go at like the 2-minute warning of the Monday night game or at halftime of the Monday night game, depending on how the game's going, that sort of thing. So if I don't start right away at 8 o'clock and it's 8:15, okay, that's what that is. Tuesday night Under the Lights will always be at 6:30. Sunday morning pregame show will always be at 11 o'clock. The Vikings First and SKOL postgame show will always be at the 2-minute warning of every Vikings game. Monday night, Sunday night, Thursday night, Tuesday night, Sunday afternoon, 2-minute warning. Come on over to Vikings First and SKOL. I won't be over there every weekend, but I'm going to be there for some select weekends, depending on when I have my daughter and what the rest of my schedule is like. So yeah, you got me at 11 o'clock for the pregame. You got me Monday night. You got me Tuesday night. Oh, and you also got me and Rap Sunday night. Me and Rap are going to simulcast. Although we haven't decided if we're going to simulcast every week or if we're going to rotate. Because one thing that we've discovered when we do these simulcasts is like, let's say there's, 30 people in Rap's channel and like 10 people in mine, that when you guys put comments, you can only see the comments from those who are watching the same feed that you are. Because we can see all the feeds, no matter whether it's Facebook, YouTube, or whose YouTube it is. We can see all the chats that come in and we can put them up on the screen. But we're starting to think we might just do every other week on one channel so that everybody can interact with each other. We'll figure that out. But I want to say thank you to everybody again who has subscribed to my channel to get me over 700. That is subscribed to Vikings First and SKOL. They're almost at 1,000. If y'all don't subscribe to Vikings First and SKOL on YouTube, they almost at 1,000. They're like 960 the last time I looked. So if you don't subscribe to them, hit them up. And also hit them up on iTunes or Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts. Dave does 5 days a week, the daily opener. That's only available on the podcast. I do 1 episode a week so far. That's podcast only. Sometimes I take clips from my live or clips from my short episodes and put them on the podcast feed. So go over to however you do your podcast, whether it's Spotify, iTunes, subscribe to Vikings First and SKOL, as well as all of the other channels that I'm affiliated with. You know all the names. Half of them in this chat right now. But in all seriousness, less than 4 weeks away from week 1. And we don't have to talk about watching backups all game. We actually get to see Kirk Cousins and Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison and KJ Osborne and TJ Hawkinson. Hopefully, just hopefully, we can get another interior offensive lineman. And hopefully, I cannot wait to see the actual defense. We've seen glimpses of the defense because we saw some blitzing this past couple of weeks. But when it's Ivan Pace and Harrison Smith and Danielle Hunter, and who knows with Marcus Davenport, Kyrus Tonga clogging up the middle. Hopefully, Kyrus Tonga will be able to do a little bit better against the run that we did last week. Again, 281 yards. Oh, my gosh, that was so bad. And Lewis Seen, tackle the belly button, as Grandpa Dave says. Look at his belly button. That doesn't move. Just diving out of it. The guy looked like the Williams guy from New Orleans on the Stephon Diggs play. He just dove and completely swung and missed. Ugh. Wilson is corny. Rodgers is a weird a-hole. Remember, Wilson's family loves him. Same can't be. Well, that's very, very true, Mateo. Thank you again, Mary. And like I said, text me up and let me know. Let me know what the thought process is and when you're going to know for sure, because we would absolutely love to see you. I know everybody love to see you. SKOL Mafia love to see you. Barber. Who's Jade? Jade has a YouTube channel that is Viking centric as well. Give me just a second. The name of her channel is Sports and Stars with Jade. She also does the astrology thing. Now, I can't make heads or tails of it, but it doesn't matter. Because when she gets talking about the Vikings, she cracks me up. You know what? Hold on a quick second. I'll put her link in the chat here real quick. I'll put her link in the chat if I can find it real quick. Hang tight with me, ladies and gentlemen. Hang tight. Hang tight. Where is it? Oh, it's in the description of that video. It's in the description too. But no, here, I got it. I got it. There's Jade's channel. Check her out. She's funny. She is hilarious. I agree with No Big Plays. Good night. Good to see you. Thanks again for coming, man. Appreciate you. Well, there you go. Well, that's fine. I'll get there when I get there. Appreciate you, Rhino. I appreciate you. All right, cool. Cool. Dave, I'm gonna call my daughter after this, and then I'll give you a call quick. I'll try to make sure it doesn't get too late. I'm just gonna put these all up here. Still not giving up. Hey, all right. If you can make it, Rhino, that'd be awesome. That would be awesome. Thanks, thanks, Grandizer. Appreciate you guys. In all seriousness, thank you kindly for joining me. If you don't already, hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, share it with your friends, and spread the word about all the channels. We're one big community. We don't compete. We shout each other out. So we want to just keep growing this community and growing this community. We want it to be to where other fan bases be like, wow, look at all these Vikings content creators. Look at all the people that, and again, from the bottom of my heart, I mean this wholeheartedly and sincerely. You guys make this so much easier. I couldn't go for an hour and 22 minutes if you guys weren't here interacting with me. Yeah, I could give out topics. I could talk about this, that, and the third. I can give you the news. I can give you my takes, but it's just so much more fun. Or is it so much funner? I don't know. I wasn't a grammar guy. I was a math guy. But love all of you guys to death. Hope to see as many of you as I can at SKOL Fest. I am out. Good night, SKOL Vikes. And we'll see you tomorrow night on Under the Lights. Special guest, stars. Best Sports and Stars with Jade as our special guest. Until then, peace out. Good night. And SKOL Vikes. Until the next episode.